So cast number 2 of game 2, Duke Nukem versus Black Death on Chiron. Wow, I haven't seen this map in a while. It was around before I left in 2017, but this I remember seeing some people play it, and well, 20x20 feels a lot less. The main issues are here is that you need a degree of naval play, you have underwater mexes, but you also need to have a pretty solid land presence, since giving up the middle island is basically game over. And then you need solid air presence because, well, all these mexes are A-raidable by frigates. You need to have a transport to get to all these islands, and it's just generally a good idea on a map as large as this to have control of air, or at least not surrender it completely. So we have lumps of mass in the base, which would suggest you could go for, I don't know what that suggests really, but I would imagine that you would need at least an engineer to go grab it before you stall on mass completely, but maybe not. Both players going for similar build orders of 2 P-gens, Hydro, then they're probably going to rush a transport each. Duke is already reclaiming mass, which I'm not surprised by. And then I imagine that most people will drop most of the engineers here, some here, sometimes they reverse it because this is closer, and to establish a secure foothold and start sending units across. And then they'll send a second engineer to the ridge because, well, let's assume your opponent drops here. This is not accessible by land, so if you drop here, then you can build radar and you can see what's coming your way. There's also a pond of water in the middle, so Auroras can just move across it, no problem. Is that a ridge? No, they probably can shoot up it. Auroras can just travel across slowly as well if they wanted to just raid these bits. We're probably better off serve with frigates. Mostly frigates, 1 or 2 submarines to get rid of underwater mexes, and then focus as much as possible on the middle island. Scout, transport with, it looks like 5 units of build power. No engineers, and it looks like a full complement of 6 for Duke. Not moving out of the ACU, just happy to assist, because it's a long time to move with the ACU. So you can prepare for the mass you'll get. So take all the mexes, there's reclaim here, significant amount, several rocks here, big rocks, Hydro. So yeah, see 2 units here, gone to get the mexes, build land factories, and the same here, but this should be spread out really. It shouldn't all be going for the same thing because now you're super vulnerable to bombers. And you can see that, well, Duke was much faster in setting up 4 units of build power, building factories, not stalling. He has this engineer to reclaim all the big rocks. He's just about power balanced. Engineer's not doing anything. This lack of adjacency makes me cry, but you can't have everything. It's like, no air scouts, so this could be about to be blown up with bomb. Oh, speak of the devil. So yeah, this is why you need air scouts or air. This sitting around defending your transport is probably more important, but you should have air scouts to see what's coming in. So he's dropped the bottom ridge because, well, you have some rocks, but mostly to get the mexes. Then you can build radars as well. And the third thing to get is probably go either horizontally or vertically for the corner island. But you can see this nice steady stream of mantis coming in. Radar here. This has been delayed. Black Death, meanwhile, he's only just managed to squeeze out 4 factories, which is roughly the same, but they've been up later. And the problem he has is that he needs to stay well behind all his factories in order to get rid of this initial wave and not send out Aurora like this, where they're entering melee range of other tanks, because, well, they're flimsy as fuck and they're not using their range advantage if you're just sending them in like that. Up here already has the southern island. No navy planned, it looks like. We already have some naval factories out for Duke, who is building frigates, which is not a bad choice. All of this is completely raidable by frigates. But he probably needs some submarines to deal with the underwater mexes. So, complete and utter power stall, but he's gone for a pretty fast Tech 2 air. probably Tech 2 Pigeon coming up relatively soon and efficiently. No radar in the bottom, has no idea what he's wandering into. It's like, just, even if you built a land scout, come on, man. No land scouts. And wandering into melee range of the enemy. This is, no. That's a disaster, and there's not enough Aurora here to just stand and fight either. But at least the reclaim is in his field of the woods, if he wants part of the woods if he wants it. It's like, traveling across land, has no idea what he's wandering into. Not a good idea. And again, no land scouts, and most of these packs aren't even building anything. So you can see, wow, Duke has double the eco? That can't be right. Only just managed to get an engineer up here to rebuild that. 27 mexes, 1 tech 2. 19 mexes, 1 tech 2. So yeah, Duke is ahead in mass. 65 to 49. Faster to get these ones. Stolen some of this. Faster to his like mini island mexes as well. And this is also bizarrely enough able to be more efficient with his units because Black insists on sending them into melee range with no radar coverage. It's why? It's quite bizarre. Even if you built radar in mid or you crept forward radar, okay, defensive tech 2 radar. He now knows what's here, but still doesn't know what's here, and he refuses to scout for it. Tech 2 generators are done. Swift winds. Got some Tech 2 transports, but I'm not sure what they're on about. Aurora going completely the wrong way. Need to leave. And I'm not sure what the fervors are about either, since these completely suck versus units. Frigates out, absolutely no response from Black Death, but technically you don't need it. Because something that I do a lot is that Navy is expensive, and it's also relatively slow. So what you can do is just go Tech 2 Air, win Tech 2 Air, and just spam torpedo bombers, which if you have enough of them will just deal with frigates relatively quickly and painlessly. Where's this off to? Well, it's off to drop the top island onto a PD maybe, who knows. More teching for Duke Nukem. And we have Aurora being dropped. But you don't need that many Aurora, and they're not going to be able to achieve very much because they can't exactly shoot these ones. They can probably travel across the top, but these shouldn't have been lost anyway. And we can see the frigates manage to go down after snagging some mexes. But he's got mass in the bank. Aurora, no anti-air, way too many Tech 1 mobile artilleries. And we're on Tech 2 land for Duke. Doesn't look like he's got a Tech 2 PJ. Oh, he does have. He's got 2. He's got Tech 2 land, Tech 2 air at home as well. Just building interceptors right now. Going to see if he can save his frigates from the torpedo bombers. And yeah, Black just isn't controlling his units very well right now. Melee range and on Tech 2 land. This is a bit of a massacre. No PDs to hide behind. No Tech 2 land response either. I don't think he has enough swift winds to deal with this amount of interceptors. It's going to be close, but definitely not if Duke gets the first pass like that. No, he might just be able to clear all this up, which makes me wonder, where's the flak? Oh, there's the flak. But yeah, this expansion got completely destroyed. Frigates again, running around roaming, completely denying all of this mass. You can see the difference. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 odd mexes, which Duke has been able to deny and is no longer in Black's control. This Tech 2 radar is still functional, but the question is now what? He's built gunships because he has air control, which is the correct thing to do. But really what you should be doing, instead of just following them all in one location, is sending them to different locations and blowing everything up as fast as you can. Whilst the swift winds really should be parking over the enemy base so that you force AA, and then you also give time for your gunships to work. But no, if he's looking to do this, which is just to delete an enemy expansion, then you would argue that he should have a transport with engineers ready as well, just to anchor the location and build on the mexes. But this is where it doesn't want to run to, because there's probably going to be flak being built from this. He can fight the air, go delete all of these mexes, but he's not doing it. No Tech 2 land response. This factory still aren't building anything. And I don't see how Black can hold on to the middle island, which means he's probably already lost. It's a losing strategy not to invest into enough land on the middle island. Unless, for instance, he wants to start spamming even more gunships and hope blowing up any flak and then killing everything else, but this force is way too large to stop. Yeah, he's got plenty of Swiftwinds, he's got complete air control, but he's got nothing else. Yeah. Now he's parked over the base, forcing AA from Duke, and then leaving. But all this is gone. Frigates, they won't be able to be killed in any way, shape or form. Doesn't have enough torpedo bombers for it. So I don't know how he's going to recover from this. If he's able to recover from this. This is when you might want to have Wagners instead, because then, well, they can just float across the pond and invade the enemy island if you get to that stage. But primarily before then, it shouldn't be this easy to run over your opponent anyway. Swiftwinds again, patrolling over the base, taking damage but denying all enemy air, allowing all of this to do work, completely unmolested. These are all completely functional when they shouldn't be. Looks like there's an attempt at re-expansion from Black, which is the correct thing to do, but, well, how is he going to establish a foothold back on this island? Put up having an enormous amount of gunships, and then dropping Tech 2 units in order to, like, dig in. I don't see how it's possible. Nope, Tech 3 air coming up from Duke. He can stop building units. He definitely can stop building. Yeah, as soon as he blows all of his factories up. Flak, 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 more flak. Spaced around the island, can start ecoing this if he wants to. And Black also has Tech 3 air. Could try going for things like Restorer spam if you wanted to. But no, cruisers are out. Somehow he also managed to switch to Tech 2 Navy as well, which isn't cheap. But mostly there's just AA here, gunships can't do anything. This is still alive, even though it shouldn't be. Flak is being dispersed all across the middle island. No engineers yet to take the top or this expansion. This is taken. And the eco lead is firmly in Duke's favour, and now this cruiser is going to get free vet as well, because no one's targeting it. Now, all this AA means that all these Swiftwinds is going to melt horribly, and it's no longer worth it to just hang over the enemy base. Cruiser, another cruiser, will just take these and gut it and kill it for free. Oh, we actually have Navy from Black. Where? Oh, he spammed some shipyards up, and he's just going to build still, but he just gave up. He wasn't in a good position anyway. His opponent was a Tech 2 Navy. Could easily spam out Barracudas, Salems. Middle Island completely gone. Way too much eco into his opponent. Only just managed to get his northern mexes. So yeah, Duke also Tech 3. So what were the main things which went wrong? It expanded around the same, but the main issue was Black just played the middle island pretty damn poorly. Like attacking with no intel, not using the range of his Aurora because he couldn't. He had no vision of what was here, and using them in melee range. No response to the Tech 2 either, so he completely invested in Tech 2 air. But to his credit, won it, managed to deal with the initial naval problems, no problem, but then didn't really inflict enough damage to it and had no plan after that, it seems. And yeah, they could have helped with enough gunships to deal with the land problem, but it would just be a temporary thing, because then the flak would show up and that would invalidate Tech 2 air, so he needed his own Tech 2 land. It doesn't look like he had a plan for that. Also doesn't help that these factories weren't functioning half of the time, but that's basically in a nutshell. And that's the end of game 2.